Hey guys, how are you guys doing today? Hopefully everyone is doing pretty well. So I wasn't planning on making this video, but this thought, it didn't just come to me, but I just started to think on it more and more, and I kind of felt like I wanted to make this video. So, all right, come on, bud. All right, there we go. So this is gonna be a post-rhinoplasty, how do I feel, as far as before someone goes in and gets a rhinoplasty, you're probably doing it because you want to feel more confident. I mean, some people do it just purely for, what's the word, like practical purposes or whatnot, but a lot of people do it because they want to improve the appearance of their nose, which in turn would theoretically improve the appearance of your face, like your overall face, and whatnot. So anyway, I did it because I didn't like the way that my nose looked. Like that's the reason why I did it. So I kind of wanted to talk about like the post, like how do I feel now? Now, bear in mind I've had two rhinoplasties. My first one I got done when I was 20. My second one I got done not quite 2 years ago, which I'm actually still a little bit swollen from that, which I might talk more about that in a little bit. But my last one, I've only had two that I've gotten, was just about 2 years ago. We're like a year and 10 months about. So anyway, I'm 36 right now, so I got it when I was 34, I guess, if I do the math real quick. Anyway, and I have my hair tied back, and I think that's good because that way you guys can kind of see like more of what I really look like or whatnot. I guess, I mean, it's not like I look like myself when I have my hair down, but you know what I mean. I feel good. I do feel good, and I'm definitely glad that I did it. I do want to say, I am still swollen though. Like, I am still swollen. For a lot of people, they say their swelling goes down after a year. For me, it's been over a year and a half, and I'm still swollen, and I've had two, okay, so, that might contribute to why it's taken me longer, but it's not, it's commonly referred to, there's so many different things online, there's so much, like, contradictory information online. Honestly, it's kind of annoying, but, I've talked with my doctor. I'm swollen. I can tell that I'm swollen from both a subjective standpoint, as far as like the appearance. Like I know what what me and my doctor were going for to have my after result look like, which I know if someone gives you a before and after Photoshop, you can't guarantee that it's going to be 100% like that, but I know, like, I know the vibe, for lack of better ways of saying it, of what we were going for. And it's like, also I can tell like by the way it looks, and I can also tell objectively too, for two reasons. I just had a follow-up in my doctor's office. They can still tell that it's swollen, like from, I guess they pinch or whatnot. And even aside from that, there's a certain numbness that you get after you get a nose job. Like your whole nose just becomes not 100% numb. You can still feel it. Like if something sharp went across your face, you would still feel it, but it's more numb. If you've had a rhinoplasty, then you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. That numbness eventually, and I'm not a doctor or anything, so, I'm just a normal guy. Maybe I'm not normal, but I'm just your average guy. Am I average? I don't know. Is average good or bad? I don't know. But you get what I'm saying, who's had two rhinoplasties, and I'm talking about my experience, so. Yeah, but anyway, there's a certain numbness that you get because you've had your skin stretched, pulled up, my bone wasn't broken on my second surgery. This past one, it was on my first one, but they just adjusted the cartilage on my second one. But anyway, I mean, you're gonna be numb. Think of it like, this is gonna be gross, but think of it as like if you had your finger and you had the skin peeled back on your finger like a banana. Okay, it's gonna take that's not just going to heal up in a week, like even if you go like post a year, or after, even if it's been a year, that would take a lot of time. Your nose has kind of had something similar done. The skin's been lifted up, not trying to get too graphic, but it's been lifted up, held back, and it's been away from your bone and from your cartilage for an hour or 2 hours or however many hours you were in surgery, and then put back, sewn back together, and things underneath that have been adjusted. So But yeah, there's still a certain numbness that I have, so, which the swelling has gone down, which I can tell both from from an objective. It's gone down, but it's still there, but I can tell that it's gone down from both a subjective and an objective standpoint as well. Like I can feel I can feel that the numbness has dissipated, but there's still, the tip of your nose is the last thing to heal. Okay, so the tip of your nose is going to be bigger for longer. All right, so maybe you went in because your nose was bulbous on the tip of your nose, right? And so you go in and get surgery, and you might get kind of discouraged, which is kind of what happened to me, because you're like, man, I went in and I still feel like this, compared to the rest of my nose, the tip of my nose is like bigger than I want it to be. So what's up with that? I got to run in somewhere real quick because they're going to close in 15 minutes, but I will continue this when I get back. All right, so I am back, and all right, so I kind of go like this a lot. I kind of go like this, and that actually does help temporarily reduce the swelling. I've even asked my doctor's office about that, and they said it's fine. I'm like, well, I don't want to do something that's going to like aggravate it and make it worse, but no, they're like, you're fine. Just, they told me that the worst that could happen, again, I'm not a doctor or anything like that, so consult your own doctor or whatever. I don't know, you got to say that nowadays, but anyway, that does help the swelling to go down, like the temporary swelling to go down. So I can kind of get an idea of what my final result will look like once I've been doing this for a while. I may have said this in a video before. I'm not sure if I posted it or not. I may have been in that one that I posted. I don't know. But like, I remember one time I was in a car ride. I was on a road trip, and I was driving for 3.5 hours. And I mean, during that road trip, you know, I'm like, I wasn't doing this for the full 3.5 hours every single minute, but you know, I was doing that a lot. I mean, what are you going to do? You know, I was listening to something, and you know, it's kind of fun after. Anyway, that's not what I meant to talk about, but with my second rhinoplasty, even though I am still swollen, oh, here, that's going to be kind of loud probably. Even though I'm still swollen, my result is better. It's way better than my first rhinoplasty. My first rhinoplasty was, he did a good job at straightening the bone, but I even looked at some after pictures of the doctor who did my first one. I'm not trying to throw him under the bus or anything like that, but in a way, I'm like, I should have done more research, I guess. I don't know. I did the best I knew how to do at the time, but it feels good to smile. I've been like working the muscles in my face. I've been chewing this gum, this like hard gum for like facial fitness, and it feels good to smile. It actually like feels really good on my face. Man. That like feels good, like release pressure. Anyway, so back to what I was saying though, my nose that I had prior to this nose surgery wasn't my natural nose, and this is the thing that kind of this really annoys me. It does annoy me, but I'm trying to think if there's a better word than annoy. It annoys me, but there's like an even deeper word than annoy that would apply to this. I can't think of what it is or whatever. So my nose that I had before my second surgery that I got just now, or, you know, almost 2 years ago, let me plug this in to charge this. The nose I had before that wasn't the nose that I was born with. And honestly, my nose even before my surgery, I don't think that was like my body's, this might sound funny to some people, but I'm not even convinced that was my body's like optimal nose. I had a lot of nosebleeds when I was a kid, so I always had Kleenex stuffed up my nose. I know I mouth breathed when I was a kid. I breathed through my mouth. So I feel like a lot of my face, including my nose, didn't develop to its full genetic potential. Some people are going to say that sounds crazy, but if you think about it, bro, I need to get a new, dude. My charger's charging, but it's like halfway out of I can like see the insides of the charger. I don't know if that's good or not, bro. Roll with it for right now. But anyway, man, what was I saying? So I don't even know if that was like my optimal nose, as funny as that might sound. All right, I should drive, walk, and talk. They're probably like, what is he still doing here? Anyway, so now what was I saying? Man, neck. All right. Bearing in mind that the swelling is going to go down a little bit, and even how it looks right now, I feel better, so much better. I'm glad I got it done. I'm glad I got it done. With my first one, my nose, I think, was a little bit better than my original nose, but it wasn't even like good enough, you know, it didn't meet the mark. But this one, I feel like a normal guy with my nose like this. I feel maybe more normal. Like, I feel more just like your average guy, like the boy next door. Like, that's kind of how, more or less, how I feel. Yeah. And I feel good about that. I think it was definitely worth it. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the end result. But, you know, a lot of people nowadays, it's very politically correct to say, oh, just love yourself the way you are, yada, yada, yada. And if that's what you want to do, then that's your choice. If you truly like yourself the way you are, then do I think you should change anything? No. But if you don't like yourself the way you are, and you have something about you that bothers you, and you have the opportunity to change it, and it bothers you enough that it's worth taking that opportunity, then to me it only makes sense to take that opportunity. I think some people don't go under surgery maybe because they're like a little bit scared or whatnot, and maybe that's, you know, scared for different reasons. I know money is a thing too, but I think some people don't want to admit that maybe they're not happy with their current version of themselves. Like, that's kind of how I was before. Like, I think some people are in denial, or it's like you might see yourself from some angles, you're like, oh, I hate this, but then you see yourself from another angle, you're like, okay, I feel okay right now, you know, so you're kind of like, maybe I'm okay, maybe I'm not. I flip-flopped a lot between, like, well, I shouldn't even say that. I was going to say I flip-flopped a lot between, do I look okay, do I not look okay? But I would say, like, 75% of the time, probably more, honestly, like 85 to 90% of the time, I'm like, I don't feel okay. I don't feel like I looked okay. It's almost like if someone has, this might be a little gross example, but it's almost the same feeling, or some kind of related feeling, as if someone had a big zit in the middle of their face and it bothered them and they felt self-conscious. They didn't want to have that there. It's like the feeling of, like, remember when you were, okay, like when you were a kid, I mean, I guess this could be as an adult too, but like when you were a kid and your parents would put you in like a shirt or a pair of pants, or like they would, like when I was a kid, you know, it was like really popular to put like kids in, like, I think, was it popular then? I don't know. I grew up in the 90s, so I guess it was, I don't know. But like to put kids in like little sailors outfits, which I mean, I think those are cute, don't get me wrong. Like I think I do have pictures where I'm in sailor outfits as a little kid, a little toddler, baby, whatever, and I think it looks cute. So I wasn't like self-conscious about that, you know. And when you're a baby, you're not as aware as you, but anyway, it's like having something on you that you just want to like change out of, but it never goes away. You can't shower and have, you know, like you can't shower the nose away. Sometimes I feel better after I showered, like, you know, you're just more refreshed, you feel clean. It kind of resets your mind. Maybe I felt and looked grimy before, and then I looked cleaner, so that helped a little bit, but the main problem is still there. And not that my old nose was the only thing that bothered me, but it was a pretty major thing, and I don't think there's anything wrong with fixing it. I think if you're healthy enough to go under the surgery and you can make it work financially, I personally think it's totally worth it. If you're not sure, you know, if you're like, I don't know. For me, I knew. Ever since I was in middle school, I knew that I was going to have a nose job, and I would have times where I like try to convince myself, like, you know, you look okay, so-and-so likes you, you know, or, you know, this girl has a crush on you, so I guess you got some cuteness in you. Like, I would look for evidence that I was okay. But at the end of the day, I did not like the way I felt about myself. Bro, this guy is like right behind, like riding up on me. Like, I don't know what, or it's a chick. I don't know what her deal is. I don't know if she, okay, now she's like backing off. I'm like, bro, like, I'm the kind of person where, like, man, if you like ride right up on me, I will go slower. I will go below the speed limit. I will go, like, okay, I think it's just they had to get over real quick because now they're like backing up or whatever. But if you tail me, like, we're like, it's gonna be like turtles on the road. Like, you push me to do one thing, it's gonna make me want to do the exact opposite. But anyway, I think they just had to get over real quick. So anyway, what was I saying? But my standard that I had for myself, though, about, I want to say I wasn't up to my own standard, which is true. That's a true statement, but I guess I'm trying to make it sound more like politically correct or whatnot. And it's not even like I had this unrealistic standard of, you know, what I'm trying to obtain or whatnot. You know, sometimes this, you know what, this dude's pissing me off because, like, you aren't supposed to merge over like this early. Like, you totally went over. Like, it just pisses me off because it's like I'm following the rules and I'm merging when I'm supposed to, and it's like, I don't know, like, pisses me off. Like, I don't know, it's like people think they're just like above the rules, which ticks me off anyway. But get my hair down. Now I just want to get on here and just say I feel a lot happier, you know. I definitely feel happier. I'm definitely still, it feels good to do that too. Kind of like my head kind of hurts a little bit, so it feels good to have a little bit of pressure. But no, I definitely feel a good deal happier. I definitely am looking forward to the swelling going down 100%. They say that nose job noses will, like, people who've had nose jobs, their noses will continually get smaller over time. Like, most people's, someone who hasn't had a nose job, they're, you know, it's like your nose keeps growing and gets bigger as you get older. But they're like, well, with people who had nose jobs, their nose actually shrinks over time. So I don't know. So maybe, like, even through the years, you know, maybe it'll get like better and better. I mean, not that I'm saying I want like the smallest nose in the world. I mean, you know, I like, you get what I'm saying. But I guess I'd rather have it be a little bit too, well, it's not even about the size of the nose. It is, and it can be, but it's more just about like the proportion, you know. Like when my whole nose was swollen after my surgery, like when the swelling went down, like right now the only thing that's swollen is the tip, okay, is the tip of my nose, which right now looks okay because I've kind of been, it could be a little bit smaller, but even with that in mind, I've been doing this, you know, like I've been kind of working it. So and it just is fortunately just getting better. But yeah, when my full nose was swollen, like the few weeks right after my surgery, man, my nose was bigger, but I felt awesome. I felt great because everything was in proportion. When the trouble came, whenever the upper part of my nose started to go down and the tip of my nose, the swelling was still there, that's when I got real self-conscious. That's when I'm like, man, like something's off. I was starting to feel like my old self, which was not a good thing. But then keep in mind, that may not be your experience. It may, but my second surgery, I didn't have the bone broken. He did most of the work on the bottom part. So if you're getting your bone broken and then you get the bottom part worked on, I don't know, maybe your swelling will be a little more even. I wouldn't guarantee that though, because I think either way, the last thing to swelling of it to go down is the tip of your nose, no matter what. It's like if you have a puddle and the puddle's drying, the middle of the puddle is going to be the very last thing to dry. The edges are going to dry first. This top part of your nose is like the edges, and then the tip is like the middle of the puddle. So I think that just kind of carries through no matter what. But anyway, just wanted to get on here and just say I feel good. I'm glad I did it. I don't think it's an evil thing. I don't think it's I don't think it's wrong. I think it's just a way for, you know, if you had a house and you had something about your house that you didn't like there was a wall that needed to be painted, or, you know, the wall had a certain wallpaper and maybe you didn't like it. Every time you looked at it, it made you miserable. You change the wallpaper, you fix the stairs, you do certain things to make it look like how you want it to look. Like you have some influence over it. Unfortunately, we live in a time where, even though there's problems with modern society, I'm not trying to get all philosophical, there's a lot of really great things too. And we have medical availabilities or medical abilities, I think that's what I was trying to say, more available to us than we did like years ago, and things are getting better from that standpoint. So anyway, I feel good, and I just wanted to get on here and give my update. So I can do more, but anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video.